Hey, this is a video to help to relax the muscles in the neck, the jaw, neck, shoulders, your lower back, and a little bit on your legs too. So we're just gonna go very quick to do different poses that I like to do. And if you feel that you're getting a really good stretch and it feels good to stay longer, you are welcome to stay longer and take a few more deep breaths into each poses. So we're gonna start on the back. So you want to lay nice and flat and then bend your knees and then bring the right leg up and the hands will wrap around the back of your leg. And this is to floss, it's called flossing the nerves. And what we're gonna do, you can look over here all the way towards my feet, and you want to kick the leg up with your toes pointed, and then you flex the feet and then bring the leg all the way back down. So I do this about 10 times in each leg. You just want to kick and then bring it back. So the important point here is to remember to, sometimes it takes a little bit of practice to be able to just naturally point as you're kicking up and then flexing, drawing the heel all the way down. So that's that might take a little practice, but then once you got, and then you just go nice and easy. So 10 times, about 10 times of this, and once you finish your 10 times, I haven't been counting, so once you're done with your 10 times, and then you want to bring the leg up and over the left, so it's almost like you're crisscrossing the legs, and now you're going into a diagonal. So now we're reaching those outer nerves in the right side of your body. So just pointing and then kicking again and then flexing and bringing it back. So same thing, you want to do about 10 times, and that will help the leg to get that flexibility back. I like to do this before I even stretch anything, right before I do any yoga poses, and I make sure that I do the same amount, 10 and 10 for each one of them. And then whenever you're ready with the 10, you're gonna go ahead and switch. So the opposite leg is gonna do the same thing. Just gonna do a few times, point and flex, point and flex. So like I said, what I like about this is it gives you that extra flexibility. Sometimes the fascia is just stuck with either your nerves or your muscles. So doing this, it just get you that movement between the tissues. So it's really good for you. Don't overdo it too much, will aggravate your nerves. So 10 is enough, and you want to make sure that you do it this way, and then don't do more than 10. So point and flex, point and flex. Yeah, so once you're done with the 10 on both sides that we just did, and then from here, I like to move up towards the hips. So now this is the muscles that get the tight the most because we sit a lot. So we really want to get them relaxed, and that also works on softening up the muscles in the neck and shoulder at the same time. So what I do, it's going up and down again 10 times. I'm just gonna do 3 or 4, but if you wanna go and do the 10, that's awesome. And what you wanna pay attention in here is core needs to be nice and active. So there's the right way to activate your core, and there's the wrong way. And the wrong way, we call that you're using the center of your core instead of using your TBA. So when you use your transversus abdominis, you are getting the right muscles, you are feeling the core nice and active, and you don't want to arching your spine too, so when you're coming up you want to press the heel, engage your glutes, and not allowing your spine to arch. You just engage your core and then bring the hands, bring the hips up, and then from here your hands go up and over. And you're gonna feel when you go up and over, you wanna keep your neck and your gaze nice and straight. It's very important to protect your neck here. But you're gonna feel your whole body like this. Your whole body weight is coming towards the shoulder. And then you can come back all the way back down and just do this about 10 times. So I like to integrate the breath. So as you inhale, hands go up and over, hips come up and over. And like I said, a few wrong things that you might want to try to do that. So don't do this on dropping, like I don't know if you can see it, but when you're coming up, and then you might arch the spine, open up your flare the rib cage and disengage the core. So you really want to, I like to exhale and find my muscles here, and then from that I'm gonna lift. So as I'm lifting, I'm not disengaging, the hands go up and over. And that's very important because the muscles here on the jaw, the muscles of the breathing, the primary breathing muscles is all around here, the neck. So neck and your pelvic floor, your diaphragm. So this is all connected. Sometimes we're not taking the deep breath and then all this part here gets very tight. So hands go up and over and exhale. Awesome. So the next thing I like to do is just open the arm into a T shape and then bring the knees so together. The hips comes slightly towards the left, so I'm just gonna do a little, bringing the hips slightly towards the left, bringing the knees towards the right. And this is a twist, so this will open up the muscles here on the right shoulder, and it feels really good because most of the time when we are in a computer or riding, driving, or doing something that that it feels just better to have, it feels really good to open up the muscles. So same thing to the other side. We come back, bring the hips towards the right, open up the arms. I usually do about 5 to 10 deep breaths in here, so it really depends how it feels to your back, how it feels to your arms, how comfortable are you being on the floor. So you can do about 3 to 5 breaths, and if it feels really good, stay all the way towards 10 breaths. And once you're done with that, come all the way up. So to come up, you really want to roll to either your right or your left side. Protect your spine, hands always on the floor, support yourself coming up. So nice and easy, nice and supportive. And then come back into a seated. So legs crossed for the next one. And I really like this one. I feel like a lot of the attention that comes to this area here is this muscles on the neck, that it's very tight. And what I do, I just like to start to roll the shoulder back, sit nice and tall. And you can be sitting in a chair too if the floor, if sitting like this is not comfortable for you. So you might be feeling like you're like this, like a lot of people are. And if you're like this, you're going to be more comfortable to be in a chair. So come back up and just go to a chair. And if not, if you can relax your knees. And your knees, it's almost in the same level as your hips. And then sitting in the ground might be perfect for you. And then here, I like to bring the right arm all the way behind, and then bringing the left ear towards my left shoulder. And if it feels okay for you, you can even bring the left hands towards the right side of the head, and that's just gonna put an extra little pressure in here. So feel this area in here. Notice how it feels on the shoulder. It might feel good to you, it might be very tight, and it's just like very nice to bring awareness. You can stay here from 2 breaths all the way towards 10 breaths. So almost like a minute if you're a fast breather. but you can just start by just staying here as comfortable as you feel. Just do a few breaths in here. Make sure that you're breathing. One of the things that we get tension is because we forget about breathing. And the same thing go to the other side. The left arm can go all the way back, and usually what I do here, I flip the hands so the back of my hands comes behind me, and I find that way feels better on my shoulder to come this way. And then the right arm comes on the left side of my head, and I slightly, very gently draw my ear towards my right shoulder. And then in here too, sometimes you can even play, and I think you're gonna like this too, if your neck and jaw area is very tight. It does feel good to bring the chin to the right shoulder, and you can play around, go slow, because those muscles get tight too. And you can look all the way up and just play around and find the angle that relax the muscles on your shoulder, neck, jaw, yeah? And then coming out of here, just come out nice and slow, nice and easy. And hands and knees. I really like to bring the hands, again, everything is all about breathing. Everything feels better in the body. Our breath is a way that we have to bring healing to the body. And cat and cow really works your whole body on the back and in the front of the body. It's very calming too, so it feels really good. And how I do my cat and cow is the hands align with the shoulders. I'm pushing the ground away from you, and I don't know if you can see it, but I'm slightly bringing my bicep forward, my tricep back. So my biceps, triceps in here. So my elbows is not playing around. I'm not pitched like pit bull arms. So I'm just bringing the arms. Do you see that rotation that I do here? My hands, my fingertips are facing forward, especially for men. Sometimes you might try for men, or sometimes if you're very tight too. It feels better to have your second or your middle finger towards the front of the mat, or you don't have to be on a mat at all too. Nice cushy rug feels really good too. The knees sometimes is a little uncomfortable here. Many people prefer having a little bit more pushing in there. So what I do is double the mat this way, so it gets nice and cushy in here. And you can put some towel in there. You can put some blanket in there too. It does help with the knees if you're sensitive on your knees. Some days I'm very comfortable, some days I'm not, but I'm comfortable today, so I'm gonna go without. And then what is important about what we're doing now is that the inhale, it's always when we are dropping the belly down and tilting the pelvic forward here. So what I want you to see is, if you have any lower back pain here, it's going to be hard to round too much and drop the belly completely down. So just go a little less and go in the range of motion that you have. I have a lot of range of motion here, and I have no back pain problems. My shoulders are very okay too. To be honest, I don't think I have any injury in my back, shoulders. My knee, it's a little bit, some days it's not that, some days it requires a little bit more of carrying, some days it doesn't. So what I like to bring awareness is always do what you have to do to modify, to make your own way that accommodates your body for whatever I'm doing here. So the main idea is inhale when you arch the spine, you're lifting the head up, and you want to look forward. You want to have to see if you can have your chin parallel to the floor. You want to be active, pushing away from the floor. So this helps to release that tension from the neck too, and also flexibility on the spine. So very, very easy movements, and it should be done every day by everyone. Just dropping the belly, just simply dropping the belly down, lifting the gaze, and then doing the opposite, rounding the spine. So we are carrying for the front of the spine and the back of the spine. Good. And I usually do this about 5 to 10 times, and it's really great to incorporate the breath. So exhale, looking down towards the navel, and inhale, looking up. You're really carrying it's almost like you're using your breath to stretch out the muscles in the body, to remembering that your pelvic floor, the deep muscles of breathing muscles, and your diaphragm, and the area here too, it's part of the breath. And sometimes we forget about breathing, and sometimes we don't take the breath all the way down. So this sequences helps you to remember that you need to take all the air all the way down towards the pelvic floor, and the pelvic floor goes down and your diaphragm goes down, and then when you exhale, everything will lift. We usually, most of us, don't remember about that, and we just do a chest shower breath throughout the day, and that starts to get all this area here tight. So we're just teaching our body. We are getting in touch, getting connected, observing the body, observing what we do. And when we are done with this one, the next one that I like to open up the back, I'm gonna do first on this side so you can see better on that side, is bringing the hands, treading under. You can even see how it feels to send the hands up and over, and then tread under the right arm. So we're really stretching the arm that goes to the floor right here, and my face will go down to the floor too. I'm gonna look all the way towards my left side, and this will stretch all the way from your shoulders all the way to the neck and jaw. So if you're able to rest your head on the floor, I would try to stay here about 5 breaths, 5 to 10 or less if you need. And same thing on the other side. So now you see how my hands look. I always make sure that I counter that by bringing the hands up. It's really good mobility for the arm, your thoracic spine, shoulders, and then treading under. You can see now here different ways that you can use with the left hands. Usually it's a little bit more easier to have the hands on the ground, but different ways that you can modify this is having the hands on the top of each other, or this hand can go up and over and you can reach all the way back. So this will open this part here too, and you can try to see how it feels to look up or maybe not. Yeah, and then from here I'll do about 5 breaths and coming all the way back. And something that I really like here too is coming down, and I like to call this as an alligator. So down to the ground, belly down. You want to open the arm. I'm gonna do both sides, but starting on this side first, so you can see how it looks both sides. I like to bend the opposite leg. So this leg is towards you, this leg is away from you. Left hand is on the floor, palms down, and I'm gonna use the right hands right under my shoulder to support myself on the other side. And then what I do is just rolling around toward the right side. My head can look up towards the ceiling, my head can go down towards the floor. Take a few deep breaths in here and do the same thing on the other side. So bend again. My right arm is nice and reaching forward towards the wall behind me. And then I'm gonna bend the leg that is towards you and bring the leg up and over. And that feet can or might not touch the ground. And it's okay, there's no bonus touching the feet on the ground. You might feel like if you're really tight on the spine, it's hard to have the feet out, and maybe your feet will be hovering this way, and that's totally fine. Sometimes even if you're too tight and this is sore, it's painful in your spine, you can even bring your knees forward this way and just use that side of the stretch. You can push the ground away from you. So that's really nice. And to come back, I like to do, we call this as a puppy pose. So come all the way back into a hands and knees, and then just walk your hands forward like this. And then bringing the chin to almost like you're trying to draw your chest and your chin to the ground. I'm gonna remove this arm so you can see it. So you want to have both arms in front of you, and then see if either the head can touch the ground or your chin may touch the ground. You may even walk your leg back, and it opens up the muscles in the chest. It opens up the muscles in the front of the neck. And I like to stay there for about 5 to 10 breaths. And for the leg, there are a few things that I like to do, and I like to do in this sequence. So starting with one leg straight and one leg bent. Just bend the heel and then press the heel against your thigh. And then from here, most of the people are usually very tight. So sometimes in here, I'm very comfortable. This is how I sit all day. But I'm just keeping in mind that most of the people are not comfortable. So I would just go and bring the hands all the way behind, and then take a few deep breaths. And each breath that you do, you try to bring yourself forward. Another way that I would modify is just bringing your body towards the wall, and the wall gives you that support that your legs is not working so hard. So this is how I do with someone that is very, very tight. And then you do about 5 to 10 breaths in each pose. You really want to make sure that you are breathing here. So do the same thing on the other side, and again, you can either reach all the way behind, you can come forward towards, sometimes towards your shin. Sometimes it does feel good that you can touch your feet, but again, most of the people, when they touch the feet, they might round the spine like this. So this is bad. You want to make sure that your spine can stay straight wherever you are. It does not matter if you can touch your toes or if you might need to stay up here. So it's safer for your spine to get the spine nice and straight instead of rounding the spine to get all the way towards your toe. Yeah. Another one that I really like, we call this as a pigeon, and it stretches all the outer muscles, those sciatica nerve that sometimes gets upset with us. So what I do, and it does not matter your flexibility, I find that it's easiest to just draw the heel towards the inner thigh and then kick the right leg all the way back. So just like this, and then I like to come down towards the floor. And I find that this is very supportive for lower back too. So one hand on the top of the other, and you can rest the head. You might be able to, and that is if there's no discomfort on your knees, and if your knees is it's not flexible too, and this might not be comfortable to you. I'm gonna show something else that you can do instead of doing this. So coming back, I'm gonna show how that looks on the side. So just having the legs straight back and then just lean forward. And if that's not comfortable to you, I like to do this one too. It's pretty much the same stretch. So your right leg, I call this as a figure of 4, your right leg on the top of the left, like this. And sometimes how I find to get in there is easy is just kind of give yourself a little lift and figure of 4 the leg. So the easiest one, if you're very, very tight to do that stretch, and this is not available to you too, the easiest way will be this way. So you just bring the leg, here, and what I do, your leg has to be into going into external rotation like this. So it's almost like we want that coming from the hips and not from the knees. And And what I do, I just help myself, just pressing the hands away like this. And if you want to progress after this, you can bring the leg up. So this feels really good. You can have the leg up, and I would do this, which stretches a lot too. I would do about 5 to 10 breaths in here. And the next one would be just, if you have a belt, I would get a belt and reach all the way towards your feet. So having a belt, a t-shirt, a towel, or simply just hold behind your thighs. So you want to slowly draw your leg towards you, and if it feels okay, the opposite leg can reach towards the floor, and you're just gonna be active, bringing the leg towards you. It does feel better if you have something to reach towards your feet to hold the leg up. So it gives a nice, it's almost like a relaxing stretch that you can do. Take 5 deep breaths in here, and then you can go and switch the legs and do the same thing to the other leg. And 5 to 10 breaths in here too. And then another thing that I like to do, if your back is okay, is relaxing the leg. And if you see, most of the time that I usually come in here, I have a popping hips. So usually my hip pops when the first time that I'm doing a butterfly. So this is called the butterfly, recline butterfly. And your might too, so it's normal. Most of the times it's normal. And you can just stay here and then come all the way back, and maybe do a little savasana, just relaxing the body for a few minutes in here. So relax completely your shoulders, your neck, and that might take some of the pressure away, some of the tension away from the body. So that's my tip, to relax the neck and shoulder, and we did a little bit of spinal mobility, the legs. There's other things that you can do too, but I think this is plenty. And if you do this every day, you start to see a lot of good things in your body. Yeah, I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching. That was a little longer than I expected. Thank you. Namaste.